the second thing it takes to keep a fire burning, we were looking at the last video on what it takes to create a fire, the combustion triangle. Remember the combustion triangle, what it takes to create fire. And fire being like desire. And a CEO needs to have a fire to him. And that fire needs to burn through every single obstacle that plans on coming against you. You gotta have a fire that's stronger than everything. And right now, I want to look at the heat. The heat of the fire. What is, we looked at oxygen being, what do you want? That's your hope. What do you want? Now we're gonna look at the heat. What's the heat? What keeps the fire hot and burning? The fire's heat is determined by the people you choose to be around. And the operative word is choice. Life by osmosis will gravitate certain people to us, and we all attract, not what we want, but we all attract who we are. In fact, there's a common word out there in the world of psychology and human behavior, that if I get your top 10 friends and found out what their salary is, I can find the average of that salary and I'll discover around where your salary is. We all gravitate to the people who are just like us. Birds of a feather really do flock together. And I do a joke sometimes where I find out, what bird are you? What kind of bird are you today? Are you a peacock? Do you just look good? You're vain. You can take a great selfie. You can do a great pout. Maybe even you've mastered the art of twerking with a cup on your butt. I don't know what you've mastered, but there are so many people out there who just look good. They don't get anything done. At least there are people out there who become millionaires and billionaires off of their look. They've done something. But you might just find that you're hanging around with peacocks. Are you a chicken? Always talking about flying, but you just eat information from every talk that's out there, but you're not doing something about it. And then are you surrounded by chickens who are always afraid, always telling you these crazy words? The worst advice that anyone ever told me was this: be careful. The moment somebody told me that, they were no longer allowed to be in my friendship group. Now, be careful can help if I'm doing something unsafe. But be careful when I'm challenging my fears. You're telling me to be careful. What you're basically saying is calm down, relax. And I can't calm down. I've got to burn through stuff. Be careful is not often the greatest advice, but I'll tell you, the words can be right, but where it's coming from has to be discerned properly. And so are you a chicken hanging around with chickens? Are you a vulture just around dead places, dead people, doing nothing, dead entertainment? You're just watching TV back to back with your friends. If Netflix paid you for the amount of Netflix you watch, some of you would be millionaires by now. But what, you hang around with vultures who just gossip about people. Vultures are people who gossip about other people. And then I tell you, you cannot remain on fire while you're hanging around with them. I hope you guys are connecting to what I'm saying. Your company determines your heat. Even penguins know that. In Antarctica, they will huddle together in the freezing cold to stay hot, to stay warm, because they live in a cold environment. And can I tell you, CEO, entrepreneur, the environment is cold around you towards business. The environment is even against. It seems to slander people who make it rich, saying they got lucky or they inherited it from somewhere else. The environment around you hates rich people. Yet the amount of good you can do being rich, but you've got to be hotter than the environment around you is cold. And there are enough people who are here to put the fire out. There are enough people who are here who want to control or tame your fire. And when you get married to them, or you are in cahoots with them, or you're in some kind of friendship with them, some of you may even find you need to move out of your house. You're 18, 19, you're still living in your parents' house, and they're telling you not to go after the things that are in your heart to dream for and believe for. And some of the advice is great, but some of it is just saying, be careful like I am. Look how I got a job. Look how I went to a good school. Yes, I can't afford to spend time with you. Yes, I'm not super rich, I'm just surviving. But do what I've done. It's the safest way, and it's guaranteed guarantee success. Listen, you've got to get away from certain people so you can be successful. You've got to, and not just get away, you've got to choose new people. See, some of you out here are eagles. And what is an eagle? An eagle kills snakes. An eagle will fly to an altitude where the snake can't breathe and it will drop it off. I don't mind snakes following me. I don't unfollow the haters or the snakes that come after me on my social media. I need you to come up to the climate that I'm coming up to. Keep on following and hating all the way through. I don't mind. I need you to come up to the altitude that I'm going through, so you either come in and join or you asphyxiate, die, and collapse. I love when I hear people tell me that this is impossible or it can't be done. You are not my friend. You are actually what I call my frenemy, which means this: my enemies are better friends to me than my own friends sometimes, because my enemies antagonize me. My enemies determine my championship. My enemies told me that I couldn't and activated the belief in me that I can. But I've also got to connect with true friends. How do you find a true friend, CEO? How do you connect with right people? Well, first, the first person that you've got to have in your company is you've got to have a mentor or a champion or somebody in the field that's going ahead of you. And I know what you're saying now, they're just too busy or it costs too much to get them. You see, when your fire's not hot, your excuses are hotter. And you've got to burn right through your excuses, because right now we have more resources than most of your own mentors had when they were coming up. You have Instagram to connect with them on. You have YouTube. You have Kindle and Amazon to buy their books or at least audio listen to them. They're putting out masterclasses now for almost next to nothing. Your first investment ought to be in your mind. And the first person and the only person who should invest in your mind is your mentor. And no, you're out there listening to me. You gladly spend 80 pounds on your hair or 100 pounds on those shoes, but you won't even spend 10, 20 pounds on a masterclass online. You're not ready for success. Remember what I said: when you determine the price is worth it. And part of the price is this: you've got to find people who make you uncomfortable. You've got to find a mentor, and don't turn your mentor into your friend. Your mentor is the person you submit yourself to be taught, which means if that's your mentor, you've got to be teachable. The amount of times, guys, I sit down with people who I mentor, and all the way through they're telling me stuff they already know, and it's like, oh, I already know this. I read the book Think and Grow Rich, and I read this. And I have to say, will you stop talking? Otherwise, I can't mentor you. When the mentor is speaking, you listen with your ears, and you write down that information that mentor is giving you in that moment, and you write it down to action it. You don't write it down to think about it. I'm telling you, what's going to keep you hot here? You need a champion. You need somebody who's gone ahead of you in what you're trying to do. Why? Because they've already pioneered. They built through dirt tracks. It would be foolish for you to make another track through dirt road when somebody else has already made a way through a dirt road. At least reach the end of the road they created, and then create a new dirt road. But some of you just want to be so new, so current, so as if there's anything new. Every mistake you're going to make, someone has already made it. And the most foolish thing you can do is make mistakes and learn from mistakes, because we have thousands of years of mistakes recorded in books, and all you need to do is read those mistakes, climb the ladder to the top of the mistakes that people have already made, and then succeed yourself. Guys, the first person you got to have in your heat group is your mentor. Not many mentors. Not many mentors. You might only have 3. One for your family life, so you have a healthy relationship with the people around you. One for your emotional life. You might need somebody who keeps you emotionally fit. And one for your business life. And business is the job of being busy, for productivity's sake. That means you've got to be productive, not just busy. You got to get about busy doing something that makes you productive, financially wealthy. That's a business, okay? So plug in and find your heat group. Who's your mentor? Who keeps you hot? Who sees what you're not seeing? Who says to you, you haven't considered? Who do you allow to correct you? I always even tell people who want to get married, don't marry a man who doesn't have a mentor. Don't marry a woman who doesn't have a mentor. Who do they follow? If they're not following anyone, you're following someone who follows no one. Where are you going? That means he's the Lord. That means he's a cult leader. That means he can tell you to do whatever he wants to tell you and nobody's there to correct him. So when you end up in a rut because he doesn't have a voice he listens to and you just wanted to, or she doesn't have a voice she listens to, then guess what? Your marriage or your relationship goes down. You need mentors. Connect, not many. Find the best in the field you're entering. Find the number one in the field you're looking to go into and be the person's mentor. Which is why we call our business Well Mentor, because the whole thing is about mentoring people to financial success. You need a mentor. Then the second group of people you need in your heat group, you need other eagles. You need other eagles. And your eagles, your mentor, by the way, is the person who makes you most uncomfortable. Your eagle group are not cheerleaders. You don't need cheerleaders. Cheerleaders are big enemies. You don't need people who stroke your ego. Your eagles are people who dream big like you do. I got eagles in my life. I can count them on these hands. You need eagles. You need people around you who run. You know, if you tied your leg to them, you wouldn't slow down. In fact, they're so powerful, they can even speed you up. You need eagles in your group. And I would not have more than 12 eagles. And of those eagles, you need 3 lions. Lions are cool. They're not just visionary, but they operate on the ground. Those lions are like eagles are in the air, but they operate on the ground. They are hungry. They're carnivorous. They are tenacious. You need 3 of them. And the world is so connected now, you can find them. Stop just going online to find a date. Go on LinkedIn and find a friend. Connect with people who are lions. And please, if you're out there, marry a lioness. Marry a lion. I married a lioness, and let me tell you something. That one is tenacious, hardworking, dedicated to her craft. She's a little hard on herself sometimes. It's a healthy hardness at times that just gets her pushing along and gets her going. She's a phenomenal woman. This woman is a phenom. I made sure I married a lion because I'm a hungry lion. I need a lioness in my life. I don't want a woman who I can eat up. I want a woman who eats and hunts with me, who we gather up. I don't want a housewife. I want a mover and a shaker as well because I'm a lion, and who you are determines who you're with. So please, become what you want. Become what you want. Don't say I want lions while you plan on being a chicken. Become what you want. And again, to become what you want, you got to discover what you want first. And then you become what you want. And then you attract who you want. So that's your second group of people. These are your lion group, your eagle group. Are you with me? Now, your third category of people is an interesting category because this third category is connected to your going to a higher level. You need your poor group. And your poor group, I'm not talking P-O-O-R, I'm talking P-O-U-R. Your poor group. And who are your poor group? These are people you pour into. These are your followers. Don't think because you're on Instagram you got followers. If they're not, these are observers. Followers are people who you mentor, people who you contribute to. And let me tell you what happens in the process. It's very powerful. I find that they actually say the number one way to learn is to teach. The more you teach, the more you learn. If you don't find people who you can teach, who you can pour into, who you can lead. Are you with me? This poor group that you've got here, these are people, this is your hunt group. You are hunting or you're looking for eagles in this group. You are raising eagles in this group. If you can't find them, raise them. I'll say it again, if you can't find them, raise them. Find ordinary people who you can motivate and inspire. Don't say I don't know how to motivate people. Everyone knows how to motivate people. Find people who you can just say, we can do this together. Let's get this done. This is not impossible. Find people who you can teach. We all teach. How many of you been on the phone and given someone great advice and thought to yourself, man, I need to take notes on this. I'm giving some good stuff right here. Because you all have it in you, a reservoir of wisdom that you're not activating. But the more you teach, the more it awakens on the inside of you to impact others. You need your impact group. You need people who you're also bringing up. What does it do for you as well? It holds you accountable. It holds you accountable because if you're teaching people, guess what? They're looking to you as an example. It keeps you in that place where, look, I got to stay strong. I got to stay accountable. I can't fall back because there's so many people now relying on me. You need the healthy reliance, people who rely on you, people to whom you are their hero. And let me tell you what happens. You become a legend as they follow your example. More on leadership in another topic. Leadership is a whole nother topic on its own. But you need a heat group. You need people who are following you. You need a team. That's why part of my business operates on building teams, because you need people you inspire. Now more than ever, we need to be connected more. We need to be networking more. We need to be on the phone more with people. We need to be talking and to our heat group and keeping them hot, keeping them on fire. This is what you need, guys, in order to stay hot. You need company. You need the right company. You need the right people. You need to find it, because the fire gets cooler. If the environment of the fire gets cooler, then the fire is hot, the fire goes out. If you're around people who keep making excuses for why they can't achieve, hold you back, put you down, I don't even care if they're in your family. Your mind is your garden. You have to be careful what people are sowing in your mind. You have to be so careful what you allow people to put in there. So careful. Guard this thing. This is your field. Every seed they put in is going to germinate, grow, and become something. Guard this area with your life. This is why your number one group should be your mentor. If you forget everything else, connect with a mentor. Connect with a mentor. Do it right now. Write down the names of the people who inspire you most. Find the people who are your distant mentor. That means you watch them online. Then find someone who can be a bit more of a personal mentor. And don't be afraid to reward them for mentoring you. Don't be afraid to give them your time. There's several forms of currency. Don't think it's just money. Find an area you can serve for free. Tell them, look, I got this skill. I'm a writer and I can see you write books. I'm an editor, so let me type books for you as long as you mentor me for a certain amount of time. Hey, I can see there are assets that mentors need more than money. Hey, look, I'm good at social media management. Let me come in and help you manage your social media. Hey, look, I'm a barber. Let me go with you on the road and let me cut your hair and keep it nice and clean for you. And all I need from you is that exchange of information. Okay, and your mentor is your tormentor. Your mentor is your worst enemy, because your mentor is the enemy of everything in you that wants to remain small. You need a mentor. You need to see the house they live in, the car they're driving. I'm living in the house I'm living in, and I'm driving the car I'm driving today because I saw my mentor's house. I was like, boy. I saw a car, I was like, boy. My mentor said to me, you are going to be more than I am. A good mentor will always leave you as more than they are. Please, guys, do something. Write your questions below. If you have any questions in the time that I'm speaking, write your questions. This will help me with content so I know what it is that you need to better your life. This is what I want to do. I've already achieved a lot of the successes that I wanted to achieve, and I want to give back. I want to contribute. So please do interact. Write your comments below. Keep them nice. Let's not attack each other. Let's stay positive. I'll catch up with you on the next video.